always good to have a sister friend or someone that's going to be there when you need them. And for all we know, this may be today or tomorrow. Our next speaker is a physician and also a myeloma survivor. She is an adolescent medicine physician, Dr. Jeri Dyson, and we're going to hear her story. Thank you.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
So, everybody has a story, right? And hopefully, while I'm sharing my story, you'll hear a little bit about your story. The good part about us telling our stories is that we always identify little pieces of ourselves in each other's story. So, I am a adolescent medicine physician. I am born and raised in D.C., Ward 4. No, you know how people say they're from D.C. and they ain't really from D.C. They're really from Maryland, so that's a big deal. All the DC people really understand. But I have been physically well. I am very strong in terms of my physical, mental, spiritual prowess, and I took pride in that. And on December the 30th, 2 days before New Year's Eve of this December, I actually had excruciating pain. And the reason I'm telling this story like this is how multiple myeloma came into my awareness. So I was physically fine. I go to the bathroom. When you wake up in the morning, first thing you gotta do is what? Come on, we all grown. Go to the bathroom. Everybody gotta pee first thing in the morning, right? So I go to the bathroom, and as I'm squatting to get on the toilet, I feel a pop in my back, a snap. My eyes go light. It's excruciating pain like I have never experienced in my entire life. My legs go numb. As you can imagine, there is urine everywhere. I just want to paint the picture so you know how I was in that moment. There's urine everywhere. I'm falling on the toilet. I'm screaming bloody murder. And the pain is an indescribable pain that I experienced. It's the kind of pain where you can't breathe, you can't move, all you can do is scream out. Like, you know how people say, oh, pray, ask God. The prayer was not an eloquent, God, we ask you to come this morning and be with me in my, it was a Jesus, please help me. One of those screaming, curling things. And it took me 4 hours to get off the floor because, anyone who knows if you fracture your back, you can't move. Your whole waist is out. Okay, so I'm writhing on the floor. Thank God my mom hears me. Shout out to my mom in the, royal purple. But my mother hears me. She comes downstairs. She runs, and she's, physically, she can't pick me up. I'm not a baby anymore. So I writhe on the floor for 4 hours. We get myself together because everybody got a little pride. We're not calling 911 because I'm butt naked. And they're going to take you to the hospital the way they found you, right? And it's December, so that wasn't happening. Not gonna happen. So 4 hours it took me to get off the floor. I go to the emergency room. While I'm in the emergency room, I am in so much pain. I'm trying to explain to the lady what's going on, and she says, "Oh, it's just a muscle spasm. It's a muscle spasm." The reason I'm telling this story, the way that I'm telling this story, is that you know your body better than any physician on this earth. You have been connected to your body. You are the spirit that's inside your body. So when she said, oh, it's just a muscle spasm, more than likely, we're just going to give you, she gave me muscle relaxers, she gave me anti-inflammatory and some more medicine. And I was like, dude, are you going to do an x-ray? She was like, well, no, you don't really need any films. We're just going to send you home on this. And when you're in major pain, when I'm in major pain, it's very difficult to fight. It's hard to fight back. And I said, ma'am, I've been a physician for 20 years. Could you at least do some imaging? She decided not to do imaging. We went home. Fast forward 2 weeks later. So I was like, well, maybe it is a muscle spasm. I was like, So I asked my girlfriend, who's a chiropractor, who was also working on my back at the time, which she should not have been working on my back doing manipulation. Because I could have been, I just thank God every time I think about it, I could have been in a wheelchair permanently, right? So I asked her I demand that she does an MRI. I was like, you gotta do an MRI. So we do the MRI. It just so happened on that day I was having a physical exam earlier. So the doctors have a tendency, and I'm a doctor, so I can talk about us. You know how when you family, you can talk about family. So I'm a physician. What we sometimes do that we should not do is look at how you present to us and say, oh, well, you look good. Well, you look good, girl. Well, you look good. So it's nothing wrong with you. And that's what kept happening to me. Well, you look good. Well, you dress nice. Well, you got your hair done. You got on shoes. You don't look like death. So you must be doing fine. And I was like, no, something is wrong. But my girlfriend, the chiropractor, had already ordered an MRI. So after I see my physician, I go to the chiropractor for my follow-up. She didn't tell me. It was a girlfriend. She was like, just come in and we'll talk about what I found. So as I'm sitting in the chiropractor's office, she's reading the whole report. I don't want to hear the whole report. I want to find out what the problem is. I happen to look over at the MRI and I see my spine, and in my spine,